Good morning, everybody. This is Paul Cramey. Welcome back to our session today, continuation of what we covered on Monday. If you remember on Monday, if you were with us, we talked about shipping to a single location. And we're going to continue today where we're going to extend that so that we'll look at a sample of shipping to multiple locations and have a couple of different orders to illustrate that concept. And then we'll spend a little bit of time looking at the shipping dashboard and in use of Explorer. And then we'll wrap up our session today with just some very, very brief comments on the optional shipping modules for FedEx and UPS. I'm going to apologize. My voice is not very strong today, and got the cough. So I'm hoping that I don't do one of those coughing spells here. Just a second. Okay, everybody should be seeing control. Hang on a second here. Just Linda, are you there? Yeah, I think she's here. So I'm going to go ahead and start kind of where we started off on Thursday, or left off on Tuesday. Some of this is going to be a repeat a little bit in the event that some of you on the call may not have been with us on Tuesday. The shipping module, we're dealing with shipping methods and carriers. And the way you can start off getting oriented towards this is to go up to setup and then system setup. And then on the left-hand side, about a quarter of the way down, a little over halfway, is shipping methods and carriers. This is a list of the carriers that are in my particular system. And obviously the 4, 5, 6 is a figment of my imagination that I added. And also I added the local deliveries one. But the other 4 probably, in all likelihood, were in your system to begin with. Now, once a carrier is listed in here, they cannot be deleted. So if you don't want this particular one to be used, you would simply choose the edit button in the action toolbar and remove the check mark. Well, that one's not going to let me do it. See if I can on the other one. No. You should be able to, just to deactivate them if they're not present. To add more characters or carriers, you just choose new, and then you can begin to add additional carriers. Now, the shipping, the integrated shipping modules may or may not be available in your system. And the easy way to test and tell if that is the case is to go up to the help button up here at the very top and then choose about control. And if you come down a little ways till you see modules, and then go over to the right and choose the button that says expand. This is the list of all of the modules that are in my particular system. So as you can tell, I don't have the FedEx or the UPS module that's part of my system configuration. So if I wanted to use one of both of those modules, I would need to reach out to the Sirius sales department and learn about the availability of the modules for my particular system, and also the cost. So if you don't see them in the list, then you need to reach out to the sales department to find out the availability and the cost. If you do see them listed in here, and you're not using the modules, then you need to reach out to the tech support department, because you have to set up the accounts for the module or modules that you want to use for the shipping function. So again, they may or may not be in your part of your system. If they are and you're not using them, just reach out to the tech support staff and they can help you get set up, get the accounts established. If you don't see them in the list, then you're going to have to reach out to the account or to the sales department to find out additional information. Now I'm going to jump right into looking at shipping to multiple locations, and I've got two orders that I have open here. Number 76, 1076, and 1075. The first one, 1075, has a single line item producing 10 images. Okay. The second one, I have two line items, one with a quantity of 4 and one with a quantity of 1. Now, what I want to illustrate in the multiple shipping is to take this first one, and my example will illustrate shipping 5 of those to one location and shipping the other 5 to a second location. And in the case of the other order that I have, I'm going to ship one line item with the 4 items to the one location, and I'm going to ship the other line item, number 2 here, with 1 item in it. I'm going to ship it to a second location. Now, notice also that I have added the shipping product, and we'll look at that in a little bit more detail in a bit. But here I'm trying to illustrate that we're shipping one package, 4 items, and we want to ship it today, and it's going to go out by UPS. And then I've just made a wild guess of the weight. Okay. And similarly down here, I'm shipping the 1 item on the 30th, tomorrow, 2-day UPS, and its weight. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to go back to 1076, and I'm going to go to the shipping UDF out here to the right. Some of this will be a kind of a repetition from what we talked about on Tuesday, but not fully. I'm going to edit this so we can see it a little bit better. On this example, up here at the very top left, I said that I'm shipping multiple shipments. Tuesday, we said we were shipping everything in one shipment. So that's the difference between these two up here at the top. Then repeat from Tuesday, you can either say that you're shipping from the store, and they get the store address information down here, and you can make sure that you have the correct address that you want to use, or you can ship from a third party, in which case you would have to enter, the address information. I'm going to leave it as we're shipping from the store. Over here to the right, I put a check mark here that I want to use the customer's account number. Okay. Now, if I was using an internal account number from your shop, then I would leave that off, and then you would the shipping information, the account number and stuff would be part of your database for your company. But this presumes that I'm using the customer's account number. So I would choose the carrier, would enter their account number and the zip code for them, and then I can update that and make it part of the shipping information if I want to do that. All right, now I want to look at the stuff that's below this yellow line here. And what you see is that there are, on this first order, 1076, there's 2 line items. If I expand the diamond on this one, 1076A, let's look at the order for the items. And here's the item, okay? I'm gonna come back out to the shipping. So this first one pertains to, I am shipping 5 of the items, okay? And here I'm shipping to the customer. I could also ship to a third party. If it's to to a customer, it's going to pick up the company address and contact, and then the shipping address will be, make sure that you have chosen the correct one. Over on the right, you're choosing the carrier, UPS, ground. You're estimating the cost of the shipping. And then later on, if you're using the integrated module, when the actual shipping cost is available, then that will be updated through the integration of the two systems. And if you're not using the accounting or the shipping modules, one of them, then you'll have to manually edit the order and put in the actual shipping cost and anything else that may have been missing. The value here generally gets self-populated, but you may want to put in the insured value if it's slightly different. Put in the shipping date and the actual ship date. Again, if you're using the integrated modules, that will get updated for you. As well, the tracking number. So here I said that I was shipping 5. If I collapse this one, come down and look at the second one. Again, it's coming out of line item number 1, and that's true with the first one. It came out of line item number 1. So it's going to look much the same, but I would likely have chosen a different address. If it's going to different locations, I would make sure that where it was going was either at the customer level with the appropriate address, or to a third party and their address, and then fill in the appropriate information here to the right as well. Now, if I flip over to, I'm going to cancel this. If I flip over to the other order, it's going to look very similar. We've got 2 line items, as I said, with the shipping for each of them. If I come out to the shipping tab, same thing here. I'm going to edit this again so we can see it. It's shipping to multiple locations. I must not have selected, sorry, I missed that. Shipping to multiple locations, same idea here, store or third party. If you're using the customer's account information, you would enter that here. Now here, I've got 2 different items, 2 different shipping items. The first one is line item 1. We'll come back to this in a second. And the second one is line item number 2. Okay. And here I am the address information for the first shipment, the cost, same comments as what we just talked about on Tuesday and in the other order that we just talked about. Same information. It's shipping all of the items to that location, all 4 of them. And on the second one, it's shipping one of them, the number in the order or the line item, and that's going to the second location. Now, that's really the essence of the shipping module. The shipping UDF. Now I'm going to come back to the to both of these. I'm going to edit this one as well, just to give you an idea of what I did on the shipping. When you're entering the shipping information, this is the shipping template. I've got 2 packages, 5 each. I just arbitrarily picked boxes. They're probably not appropriate for what this is illustrating. So I'm looking at the packaging side now. The packaging is where you would enter the boxes and other things you need related to the shipment. The first tab, the shipping tab, is more general. Again, it's repeating the carrier, and that's where you would enter the weight and the dimensions and the cost, and then what it would estimate the price to be for the shipment. So you see the $100 here, and then the difference between the 100 and 111 is for the packaging boxes that would be on the other line item. So that's that first order. The second one, each of the line items for shipping are pertain to that that particular item. I'm going to come back to the shipping. So UPS, the weight, the cost, the price, estimated price, and then the packaging, all the goodies relative to what you need, and the cost of that. For the shipping cost to the customer is the $55.75. Okay. All right. I want to see if we've got some questions before I move on.
Yes, we do have a question.
Okay.
Paul, is there a way to have assumed default shipping settings per account? And this is from Jacob. And Jacob, I can unmute you.
Hi, Jacob. Hi. I think in the company, if you look at the shipping tab for the company, you can put in some I've updated that here. I think the answer is yes.
Okay.
But I'm not real positive exactly where I would go to do that. But you should be able to pre-populate let me just open the company instead of looking at it in that order.
For sure. Okay.
Come on. So I'm looking at the company, contact, shipping. I'm going to renege on my answer because there's not a shipping UDF up here at the company level.
Yeah. Okay.
But if I go back to the order, I'm just not 100% certain, because if we look at the shipping UDF, this guy right here, I think contact information can be updated. So you can put it in here, and I think tell it to update that information at the contact level. But I am not 100% certain that I'm interpreting this save item properly.
Okay. Okay.
So it's a vague maybe, I think, is what I'm saying.
For sure. Yeah. I was kind of wondering, like, would it, I mean, obviously, we're not super sure about how this works, but would it save the cost as well, or would that be something that has to be entered every time?
The cost of the shipping, if you're using the integrated modules, then it's my understanding that the syncing between control and the the UPS app or the FedEx app would bring that cost data in the actual cost and the tracking information back to control.
Okay.
Okay. But if you're not using the modules, then actually when you find out what the actual cost was and what date it was actually shipped, then you would have to manually update the control accordingly.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Yep, that's all my questions.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Any other
No,
questions? Okay.
No other questions, Paul.
Okay. From within the order, I can print the packing slip. I could print the packing slip from within the order, and that would apply to each one of them separately if there's multiple ones, obviously. And then using the report over here in the action toolbar, you can also print the shipping, the packing slips from over there. So the packing slip from within the order or from the action toolbar. All right, I'm going to close these down. Now I want to shift gears a little bit and talk just quickly about the dashboard, the shipping dashboard. If I go up here in my system to dashboard and then choose the down arrow, that's a dashboard for shipping that I created, okay? So what I'm implying is that you may or may not have a shipping related dashboard in your system. So you'd have to just look up here in your system under dashboards and see if there are any that are there. Now on this particular dashboard, I wanted to be able to see, these are called instruments, these four with a dark blue row. There are four instruments that I wanted. One was to see to be shipped this week. So looking more than just today, but looking at to be shipped this week. The shipment detail. So if I select this one over here, 1074, now I'm seeing 1018. I don't see that in here. I've got goofy stuff the way I've messed around with my system. So, but anyway, you're seeing the ship detail. So I got two within the one order, 2 items, and then the quantity for each, and then the shipped. So I wanted to be able to see within the dashboard. I wanted to see what's supposed to be shipped, what's supposed to be shipped this week. I wanted to be able to see shipping details for each of the items that were being shipped. And then I wanted to be able to see which ones have indeed been shipped. Don't get confused by the fact that some of my goofy stuff is here. It's because I put these in months ago and I haven't cleaned it up to to get stuff out. Okay. So if I look at this order, 1076 is one that we were looking at. I chose 1076. Here's the details on it. We looked at 1075. And here's the one item for it. Let me look. That's really, there's not a whole lot here. If you don't have shipping dashboard, it's kind of a topic for a different day to create them. They're not that difficult to do. But if you would need some help in doing that, then I would suggest that you reach out to the Serious Consulting staff for some help if you need that. I'm going to close this down. Now I'm going to go to I'm just looking at my notes. Just hang on a second. Now let's look at Explore. And if I look under the list of items, the Explore shipments is the one that I just wanted to bring to your attention. So here I'm looking at orders. I want to look at all of the different statuses. I could look at just the items that have already shipped. I could look at only at the items that have not shipped. I could look at the orders based on their status in conjunction with whether they're shipped or not shipped. So from within that Shipping Explorer, you can also get a good view of what stuff is to be shipped and what stuff has been shipped. Okay, so that not shipped, these are the ones that the system is saying that have not been shipped. And if I were to eliminate the closed and the sale and do a refresh, you can see the influence of the filters. Much like any other use of Explorer, the filters, can help decrease the amount of clutter, so to speak, that may not be relevant for for what you want to see. Any questions on the dashboards or the use of Explorer? There's not a lot of earth-shattering information about Explorer particularly.
No questions, Paul.
All right. Now, to finish up, I want to just talk about the some of the key points about the optional integrated modules for shipping. That integration, if you're using the integrated modules, you can ship within the U.S. and even some internationally. The shipping can only be associated with a single order. That was the reason that the way I illustrated things, it was either that 1076 or order 1075. Both of them had two shipments, but they were all within that one single order. So you can't combine into a shipment items from multiple orders. If you are a cloud user, you have to reach out to the consulting department regarding any complications or issues or complexities related to the syncing between the systems. If you're using the apps, the FedEx app and the UPS app, they must reside on the same network within your shop where control resides. So in other words, you can't have the FedEx and the UPS app operating in a different network within your business. The only two carriers that can be integrated at this point are FedEx and UPS. I don't know. I can't answer if USPS will be become a third option anytime soon. You have to get started. You have to reach out to the to the tech support department to get your account information set up with the carriers, and including getting the apps downloaded, and then you're in a position to begin to use them. There are some people that have used the integrated modules where they have reached out to the serious tech department staff to customize the packing slips. I don't know particular reasons why, but I just have learned that is often the case. Now, for orders, voided orders, the shipping must be removed separately. In other words, you're going to have to remove the shipping stuff first and then void the order, is my understanding would be the sequence of events. Now, if you have additional, more detailed questions about either of the apps, the FedEx app or the UPS app, then it's best to direct those, reach out directly to the carrier themselves. The concept of percentage complete is not related to to anything related to shipping. So it has to be completed items that you're shipping. That's just a very, very high level overview of some of the characteristics about the integration of the two systems, or the shipping system and control. Now we got 30 minutes. I've covered everything that I had on my bucket list for this topic. So we got ample time for questions either on the shipping for multiple items or going back to Tuesday and shipping just to a single location. So I can open this up for just general questions of any nature if you'd like. Any questions?
No questions at this time, Paul.
Okay, I don't want to keep anybody, and this will help save my voice for the rest of the day. So take care, everyone. Have a good weekend, and I'll be on a session here soon. Linda, call for just a second.
I'm sorry?
Can you stay on well, actually, when you get done, would you give me a call?
I actually can't. I have to run,
Okay.
but I will catch up with you later.
Yeah, we're going to be gone this afternoon, so there's no urgency on any of it, Linda.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
Take care. Yeah, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.